If you've never tried a savory kolache, you're missing out. When we lived in San Antonio, we got hooked on these. Fast forward, and we're up in South Dakota without a decent kolache in sight. Today, I'm proud to share ones that rival those kolaches from Texas. Before we dive in, if you've seen any of my videos in the past, I've shared the ingredients on the screen or in the description. Since I'm human, I make mistakes sometimes, and for that reason I have a link in the description to get to the full recipe and instructions. That way you can access any tweaks or minor changes that I make. Ultimately, I want you to get the best results, so hopefully this will work better. Let's get started. Warm your milk to the temp you need for the type of yeast you're using. After 30 years of baking, I still use a thermometer to double check. Add a pinch of sugar to speed things up and set it aside to foam while you add the rest of your ingredients. Weigh the flour and all the other ingredients into a mixing bowl along with the proofed yeast. The other day I read that scooping flour adds 20% more versus spooning and leveling in a measuring cup, so I always recommend you weigh for the best results. The dough is enriched due to the milk, butter, and egg, and that means that this is going to be a very soft and tender kolache. I always talk about stirring your dough before you use your stand mixer's dough hook, and this is why. The dough will take forever to mix unless you give it a good stir before you start kneading it. After kneading for several minutes, you can check to see if your dough sticks to your fingers when you poke it. It should be tacky but not stick. If it sticks, you can add a very little amount of flour at a time until you get to the right consistency. I often get comments on my bread recipes saying that they need more flour. Case in point, I would be tempted to add more flour if I was kneading this by hand. As long as you're weighing your flour and other ingredients, I beg you, resist the urge to add more flour. If you add too much flour, your dough is going to be harder to work with and it won't be as tender once it's baked. On top of that, flour continues to absorb liquid during that first rise, so it will be less sticky and firmer after you let it rest. Place the dough into a greased bowl and cover it for the first rise. Since it's enriched, it can take up to an hour and a half to double in size. This is why I love using my oven's bread proof feature to speed things up a bit. Once it's risen, punch it down and weigh the dough so that it can be divided into 12 equal portions. Cup each piece with your hand and then drag it along your work surface in a circular motion so that it smooths out. Take one of the dough balls and place it smooth side down on a lightly floured counter. Dust the top with a bit of flour and then roll it into an oblong about 7 inches long. We like to put a little bit of cheese inside our kolaches, and today I'm just using half of a white American slice in each one. For us, Johnsonville sausages are the best, but go ahead and use your favorite. Just keep in mind that you may want to adjust the number of kolaches depending on what you use. Place the uncooked link in the center of the oblong and then gather the dough up around the sides, pinching it together to seal. Place each on a half-sheet pan. For more even browning, you can spread them out over 2 half-sheet pans, but I had a really hungry crew waiting for these, so I baked them all in one pan. Cover and let them rise for about 20 to 30 minutes while you preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Make an egg wash with 1 egg and a tablespoon of water. Whisk well and then brush the tops. You can top them with sesame seeds, poppy seeds, flaked salt, jalapeños, or cheese. Flashing is completely optional, but if you do, go lightly so you don't cut all the way through the dough. Bake for 20 to 25 minutes or until they are golden brown. Let them cool for about 5 minutes and then you can dig in. These are perfect plain or with a little bit of mustard. Thank you guys for baking along with me today. I'd love to hear if you've had a savory kolache before or what you'd put on top of yours. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you soon with my next treat.